This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Five for 12 with runners in scoring position. Hi, by the way. My name is Mark. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast. Five for 12 with runners in scoring position in a game where they score 3 runs in 10 innings. Think about this for a second. 5 for 12. Usually any other day I see 5 for 12 and I'm like, oh, Phillies had a good day with runners in scoring position. Way to go, boys. And they scored 3 runs, 2 in regulation, if you want to call it that. This team is terrible. Oh, my goodness gracious. The brooms are out in Flushing, sweeping the Phillies away. And, it still feels terrible. And I even said yesterday, I was hoping the Mets put them out of their misery. Like, I'd be so bold as to say I was rooting for the Mets flat out today. Oh, man, because I want this to be as bad as possible before it gets worse. It'll make when it gets better. Because I do believe they're going to turn it around. But not right now. That's not what to focus on. The focus on is how bad they are right now. 3 runs in 10 innings. Good Lord. Zack Wheeler actually goes out there and battles 107 pitches through 6 innings of work, just so he knows the bullpen doesn't come in and blow it. And for the most part, the bullpen was pretty good. The last 2 games, the bullpen, I joked yesterday, was basically a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs. Way to go, bullpen. And then today, they unfortunately cracked for 2 runs. One of them, of course, the game winner. There should be 2 of them coming in the 10th inning there. But Jordan Romano, guess it just wasn't meant to be for, Jordan Romano. Not good for him today, unfortunately. I saw the Phillies not be able to capitalize with runners in scoring position when it came to the bases loaded. There's a couple of situations today, including the 10th inning where the Phillies had the bases loaded, 1 out, and then they failed to really capitalize on those opportunities. And I thought, there's no way that's not going to come back and bite them in the old behind. And it certainly came back to bite them in the behind today. But Zack Wheeler battled the lineup. They came through as far as hits came, but no home runs, no extra base hits. That's where you get a 5 for 12 runners in scoring position. It's still only 3 runs in 10 innings. Like, that's almost hard to do. One of the runs with a hit or running in scoring position happened because Bryce Harper stole third base in the 10th inning. So then all of a sudden you got to play up if you're the third baseman, and then that little ground ball gets hit sharply, gets hit sharply by Nick Castellanos and trickles in to left field, allowing the run to score. So it was rough. It was rough to watch this one. Once again, welcome in to Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is part of the Locked On Sports Network. Connor Thomas has you covered when it comes to your Locked On Phillies daily podcast, and I got you covered for your Locked On Phillies postcast after each and every game. 3 big things. Number 1, the Phillies on multiple occasions today, 2nd inning in particular, and I felt like you could hear the entire Delaware Valley say, that's going to come back to bite them. You know what I mean? That's going to come back to haunt them. And it did. 2nd inning, J.T. Realmuto flies out to center field. Alec Boehm gets a hit off the tarp down the left field line. So now he's standing on first base. Edmundo Sosa, who just only knows how to hit baseballs now, he works a 3-2 count. He gets a single. You have first and second with 1 out. Next thing you know, Weston Wilson's into the game. He hits a ball to Vientos at third base. He bobbles it, can't control it. Now you got the bases loaded, 1 out. Johan Rojas, who has actually been swinging a hot bat, swings at the first pitch, and I don't hate him for it. He got a pitch that you're looking for, a pitch to drive where you at least could bring in somebody from third base. He gets a sinker down and in, puts good wood on it. It's not a ball by any means. Didn't chase anything. Puts a good swing on it, just not deep enough, not good enough. You can't get the run home, so he flies out to center field right field on the first pitch. Then Trea Turner steps up, hits a little ground at a shortstop, and that was that bing, bang, boom, and you're out of that jam if you're the New York Mets, and the Phillies fail to capitalize on a bases-loaded situation. Then you go on. This is all about hitting in the clutch when it comes to the Phillies. And again, this is what could be misleading. You see a stat, and this is where I haven't said this, I don't think yet on the postcast this year, but what I always like to say, numbers never lie, but they sure as hell deceive. Okay. And 5 for 12 is a deceiving number. You see 5 for 12, you go, oh, Phillies won what? 7-3, 7-2. So that, you feel like they really put the numbers up there offensively speaking. Not in this particular case. So then you go on throughout this game. And one play that first off, hat tip, let me just say, I'll get to him in a second. But no, the game continues, and you have this play with Nick Castellanos in the 8th inning. Again, 2-2 ball game at this point. Phillies battled back in the 4th inning to actually put 2 runs on the board to pick up Zack Wheeler, take him off the hook at least as the game went on. But then in the 8th inning, the Phillies have an opportunity to score a run. Castellanos led off with a walk. Then Real Muto goes down, chasing a changeup down and in. Bohm ends up grounding out to second base on a low inside pitch after getting, by the way, buzzed on an 0-2 fastball. 0-2 fastball that comes at your head, that ain't an accident. And the Phillies, by the way, didn't retaliate at all. Now, I'm not saying hit a guy in the head, but a little chin music, please. It didn't happen. So anyway, Stott goes up there, works a walk on a 3-2 pitch. Kepler comes up, hits a single to right field. Casty's on second base with 2 outs. Now, anybody play Little League, that he's running on contact. I am not in no way, shape, or form running Nick Castellanos on Juan Soto. Now, Dusty Wathan, who most of the time I like, sends Nick Castellanos home. I guess he's thinking that the next batter up is going to be Johan Rojas in this case. So he decides to not hold Castellanos, and he decides to send him home. Here's how bad an idea that was. Now, you might have seen a bang-bang play at the plate, and it was. However, Juan Soto's throw wasn't close to perfect. That ball was fielded on the first base side of home plate, almost in the batter's box, in the left-handed hitter's batter's box. That ball gets fielded. You got to see the Mets lunge across home plate and try to make the tag on that, which they did to get Castellanos. The ball was already in frame before Castellanos was even thinking about sliding. I would not have sent Nick Castellanos in that case. And when I saw where that ball was fielded with Juan Soto throwing it, and I knew Nick Castellanos was on second, even though he's going on contact, I ain't sending him. So another missed opportunity for the Phillies. I know there's some people that go by that big giant book of baseball that they always talk about. Oh, no, you got to make something happen there in the 8th inning. You got Nick Castellanos running. And I've given Nick Castellanos credit for looking a little bit more fleet of foot. Like, I don't know if he was running on a track team in the offseason or something, but he's looked a little bit more fleet of foot as of late. I still wouldn't have sent him on that particular play. But anyway, he did. He gets thrown out at home. It's still a 2-2 ball game. Now you go into the 9th inning. Phillies can't get anything going for themselves in the 9th. They get themselves out of a little bit of a jam, first and second with 2 outs with Jose Alvarado pitching in the 9th. By the way, major hat tip to Jose. 2 innings, 28 pitches. We've seen him have 30 pitch innings before. You get 2 innings out of him, 28 pitches, including an 8-pitch 8th inning. Love to see that. 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, by the way. Easy peasy. 9th inning, a little bit more trouble, but he gets out a little bit of a jam there. 20 pitches in that inning, we're good to go. 10th inning is now the one that just absolutely crushes you. You have Diaz in the ball game. You have Harper at second base. Schwarber goes down looking at a slider down, just barely in the strike zone, but it nipped the line. It was a strike. Good call there by the home plate umpire, and that was that. So now you got 1 down in the inning. Harper takes third base. Love to see it. Nick Castellanos then put that RBI single into shot. Cast being put on space due to an alleged balk by Edwin Diaz. He's then got to leave the game. They say, oh, no, it wasn't a balk. It was a disengagement. Casty goes back to first base. All right, fine. He later gets put in second base anyway. After JT Realmuto works a walk, Alec Bohm gets a single. Look at this. You now got the bases loaded with 1 out. Again, you're in the 10th inning the way you started the 2nd inning. Would it come back to bite you again? Of course. Have you met the 2025 Phillies? Bases loaded, 1 out. Bryson Stott now pinch hits Bryson Stott's already in the game. He's up there at the plate. He flies out to center field. He can't get a run home. Castellanos was held at third base on this one. Yeah, I'm still holding him. So I have no problem whatsoever with Dusty Wathan in that situation, even though that ball wasn't fielded by Soto in right field. Then Kepler steps up there and he flies out to right field, and that was it for the Phillies offense. When the Phillies did not score at least 1 more run in that inning, and it was only a 3-2 ball game going into the bottom of the 10th inning, knowing that this Mets team was going to have Juan Soto coming up to the plate with Francisco Lindor already on second base, I went, in your face of the Phillies bullpen? Nah, that's a wrap. Like, I didn't even care. I didn't even care who was going to come in out of the bullpen. Romano has been doing better as of late. but I didn't have a lot of confidence in him going up against the meat of this order. And it's not like he had a lot of wiggle room. And then he gets hit around a little bit there in the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Mets walk away by breaking out the brooms on the Phillies. So how's this make you feel? Pretty lousy. Pretty lousy. Even though this is what I thought was going to happen. And even yesterday, I said, watch Zack Wheeler go out there and allow 2 runs over, I think I said 7 innings. So I missed Scoozy. I was a little off, okay? Watch him go out there and still pitch great. You still got confidence that this Phillies team is going to hit with runners in scoring position and drive in runs and be consistent? Oh, no? Yeah, me neither. And here we are. Here we are. For all the people in the chat that loved commenting on how much the Mets are the Phillies' daddies, happy Father's Day. Even though it's not Father's Day, but it is for the Mets because they solidify that they are the Phillies' daddies. Anyway, it's a terrible feeling. I don't want to be bad to the Mets. Somebody in the comments yesterday hit me up after the show, and they just said, I think in the show yesterday, I said, do this against a team like the Mets. When I say like a team like that's not a slight to the Mets. That's more of a slight to the Phillies. And I pointed this out in the show yesterday and during the short that we do after the show, released that as well, where it's not a team like the Mets are some terrible team that they played down to. No. When I say a team like the Mets, I mean a team like the Mets that you should have a chip on your shoulder. A team like the Mets that you should have a little bit of a grudge match with. A team like the Mets that's your rival usually, except they fed you your lunch again for 3 straight games. I can't even remember what year it was. I want to say it was 2009. Maybe it was 2010. The Phillies got, this is only 15 years ago. This is a real current reference. Sorry. The Phillies got swept in New York in a 3-game series where they didn't score a run. I want to say that was 2010. They didn't score a run for 3 games in New York against the Mets. Regular season-wise, this is the worst I have felt in a series against the Mets in New York since Phillies failed to score a run in that series. This is the worst I've felt. I think that about sums it up. But I get to have some fun by giving you guys some fantastic live reads in a second here. When we come back, I'll tell you the player of the game. I'll tell you the turning point of this game. And you know what else I'll do? I'll also give you what you're going to be talking about tomorrow and probably later today, being that it's a day game. That's when we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Back after this. Hey, you like SupplyHouse.com? You better like SupplyHouse.com because SupplyHouse.com is fantastic. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades at SupplyHouse.com. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right, most importantly. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts and from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade professionals looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. That's supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. And use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order with supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Let me tell you about these pistachios, okay? They're not okay pistachios. They're not good pistachios. They're not great pistachios. They're wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they are. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with a wonderful pistachio. Wonderful pistachios. One of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you saturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. You get right down to it without having to get cracking. You know what I mean? Those shells, no shells variety are fantastic. The perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Got the NFL draft coming up. I'm going to be pretty busy. You're probably going to be pretty busy as well. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, right here at the desk, whether I'm on a road trip, whatever it might be, wonderful pistachios are the great grab and go snack. Get cracking. Get snacking with snacks that pack the protein punch with wonderful pistachios. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. That's wonderfulpistachios.com. Let's get into it when we talk about the player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
You get a walk-off hit, you're the player of the game. These are the rules. As much as I'd love to go Zack Wheeler, you needed a complete game shutout to have a chance of winning this baseball game, unfortunately. But Marte gets player of the game because, he got the game-winning hit in the 10th inning. He walked it off, blah, 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 blah. Hate doing it, but you got to be right. You got to be fair. I don't really care about being fair, to be honest with you. But you got to be right. And it's only right to call him the player of the game, so player of the game right there. As for the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I could easily go back to the 10th inning and say, they didn't score with the bases loaded, 1-out situation. I could go back to the 2nd inning and say, they didn't score, bases loaded, 1-out situation. Those are really when you felt like it was really, a wrap for this Phillies team. But once they had the base loaded, 1 out in the 10th inning, and they only eked out one measly run out of that, that's where I knew it was over. If you're being fair, if you're being real, that's certainly the situation that looked like it was over for the Phillies, and it absolutely was. You could say when they departed for Flushing, New York, before they left Philadelphia after losing Game 3 against the Marlins. You could say that was the turning point, but it's not. I'll go to the 10th inning. I'll at least give the Phillies the benefit of the doubt through the first 9 innings, and then that 10th inning when they failed to eke out one more run, that's where you knew that was a wrap. As far as what you'll be kicking around tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
You're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Phillies getting swept out of Flushing by the New York Mets. And here's the fun thing. We have a whole day to talk about this, day and a half, really, because you got all of tomorrow. Mostly you'll be talking about the NFL draft, what the Eagles are going to be doing at 32. That'll be a good time. But you also, what you're going to be talking about? You're going to be talking about the Phillies going to face the Chicago Cubs in Chicago. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the Chicago Cubs they've driven in more runs than anybody by like 26 runs. And it's the Cubs. Then there's a pile of crap, and then there's the next MLB team. They're the 3rd best hitting team in all of baseball. Yeah, they're pretty good. 3rd best at home runs, I think it is as well in baseball. Top 3 in both those categories, and then number 1 in runs batted in. So this Phillies offense keeping up with that Cubs offense sounds like a little bit of a problem. It's going to be a problem for the Phillies. So, hey, we got that going for us, right? Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are feeling about this Phillies team after getting swept out of New York there. Great baseball game. Both clubs went all out. Edge of my seat, 5th inning. Too bad we had to lose it. Well, good for you to have a positive attitude, Jess Patrick. Good job by you. I wish I had that. I don't. Hello, how embarrassing we get swept by the Mets. Well, that's more my attitude. Thank you. You and I are on the same path here. Nice to see you. Evelyn, what's going on? As soon as I saw Romano, I knew it was over. Why did they send Casty earlier? I love him, but he can't run. This team better get their stuff together. Evelyn, thank you for using stuff. I'm going to consider that a self-edit. I don't know why they sent Nick Castellanos. I heard Kruk. And look, I love John Kruk. I just disagree with his philosophy. And if you're starting a baseball team tomorrow and you need a manager, hire John Kruk over me. Let me just get that out of the way. However, John Kruk would put up a fight in a foot race today against Nick Castellanos. So I'm not going to send Nick Castellanos. Thank you very much. Taco Jelly. I don't want any, but that's your name, and I like it. We suck. Yes, we do, Taco Jelly. And I would assume that Taco Jelly also sucks. I don't know what taco jelly is. I do make a mean peanut butter burrito, to be honest with you, but a taco jelly, no thank you. Christopher Michael Ho, I'm shocked. Romano gave up the game. Crazy to think that it's only the first loss of the season for him. I'm sure he has many more in the tank this season. We suck. I'm sorry, Deborah. Okay. KC, I didn't even watch Everybody Loves Raymond. That's just the line that's in my head. Anyway, KC, why get upset with this team? They're not going to win anything. Enjoy the summer, watch some ball, and get ready for the Eagles in September. I don't have that ability, KC. I wish I had that ability. I don't possess that ability. I very few things. Did we talk about this last night or was this on my own show? I don't know. Very few things make me activate rage mode in life. The sports are one of them. And I don't know if it's because I think of the entire fan base, the city, Delaware Valley. A lot of you guys are suffering through this. And you don't want a baseball team that you just check in on every once in a while. You want a fun, exciting baseball team. And you know what? The ownership group paid for a fun, exciting baseball team. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen this week. It's not going to happen next week. But I believe in the next 3 or 4 weeks, Rob Thompson's managing for his job. That is not just me trying to stir the pot. That is not just me trying to offer a hot take because I don't even think that's a hot take. Phillies got rid. I talked about this last night on the postcast. Phillies fired Joe Girardi early June. They were 7 games under 500. But this Phillies team has taken a step back every single year. They did extend Rob Thompson, but they didn't give him a super extension here. They give him 1 more year to not be a lame duck. They did the bare minimum. Maybe a step up by actually giving him the extra year. But that's not exactly a huge vote of confidence. That is still firing range. Because, okay, Romana has to go. Thank you, Jeffrey. Morgan Landy, what's going on? We are not allowed nice things like clutch hitting. I hate baseball right now. Christopher Michael Farzi, I don't know how you do this every day. Keep your cool. I feel ready to Hulk smash every game I watch. I think it's because my kids lose so many remote controls. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. I think it's because they lose so many remotes that I feel if I smash a remote, we're just going to be down to 1 remote for our TVs. Okay. And you can't live like that. Then you might as well be in the 40s and going up there or 50s and go up to the TV and change channel yourself. Not that these TVs nowadays have a lot of those buttons. You know what I mean? Anyway. What? Philadelphia sucks. Okay. Thank you. Jeremy, I'm sorry, I missed you there. Another poorly managed game. We don't pinch run for Castellanos in the 10th. Fair point. Wait, we couldn't because Topper pinch hit for Rojas. That's true. In the ninth because that made a hell of a lot of sense. Oh, the Cal Stevenson hitting. Yeah, didn't like that. Did not like that. You basically have one of your hottest hitters in the lineup recently in Johan Rojas. Take him out of the game. No bueno. Don't like that. Oh, yeah, another RBI today. That's 2 days in a row with an RBI. That's funny. That's funny how that's funny. That's fun. Isn't that funny? I find that funny. It's not funny at all. Adam, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations to your Mets. Realmuto is cooked as a hitter, says KC. Oh, now the Mets people are coming in. John Messina, not a Mets fan. John Messina, a Phillies fan. This team sucks. Sing it, brother. My Wi-Fi breaking up? That's not good. Enter Romano. Rob Thompson just fired himself today. That's great. Pasquale, hello. If they don't start playing better, my wife's going to cut evening baseball privileges. Oh, boy. It's back to Grey's Anatomy. Okay. Phillies, for my man Pasquale. Okay. First off, I don't know your financial situation, but TVs are very affordable nowadays. Please get a second TV. But if that's the case, tell the missus, you got to hang in there. It's baseball. It's 162 of this, okay? Got to stay true. I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. I think that's a show that takes place at a hospital. It could be a veterinary clinic. I don't know. I just see the people walking around in the white robes. But please, stick with this. Please stick with this. Yes, to all the Mets fans jumping in here, congratulations. This team is terrible right now, and the Mets took full advantage. Hat tip to the New York Metropolitans. There we go. But again, the Mets of all teams should know that you could be pretty terrible in the beginning of the year. It's not like the Phillies are just god-awful terrible. They're still, 2 games over 500 now? The Mets were worse than that, and they had a pretty good run last year, including taking it to the Phils, that's for sure. Oh, wait, Miguel, we're getting chimes in from everybody. As a Braves fan, my team has collapsed. Okay. Hey, guys, your Phillips is good? Okay. Mets team by September will collapse. All right. Fair enough. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Phillies off the rest of the day. Thank goodness. Off tomorrow. And then they're back at it Friday, 2 o'clock against the Chicago Cubs in Chicago. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast on Locked On Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Connor Thomas will have you covered for your Locked On Phillies Daily tomorrow. Also, Locked On Eagles Squad podcast. Looking like we're going to do our show Friday so we can react to the Eagles' first round draft pick. Whatever goes down in that first round. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Catch you guys Friday. Look forward to that. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See you later. Bye.